Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dan Murphy and this is Talk Tech to Me. Today we're going to do something a little different. Today I'm going to show you how to use your computer, personal computer, not a server, not some massive high performance gaming rig, any computer, any laptop in the world, to mine crypto day in, day out, passively as you go along. So let's get into it. Okay, first and foremost, what is crypto mining? Crypto mining is a way of verifying the integrity of the blockchain. And the blockchain essentially is groupings of crypto transactions are all pulled together, and then the miners essentially solve complex mathematical problems to maintain the integrity of those blocks, to make sure that all those trades are correct so that new trades can be added to the end of that blockchain. And people get essentially compensated for doing this. So crypto miners, if they solve a blockchain, they are rewarded with typically some of that currency then as well. So for today, we are not going to use Bitcoin, which is by far the biggest and most profitable coin out there. We're going to use Monero. Monero is a privacy-centered cryptocurrency. It actually is decentralized, so it's not tied back to fiat or any country or a sovereign state then as well. It's decentralized, completely independent, and it's really privacy focused. Unlike Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptocurrencies out there, it really takes the anonymity of its buyers and sellers seriously. So you won't be able to trace any transaction when it comes to Monero. But for the purposes of today, it's a really easy cryptocurrency to get into. So first thing we need to do if you want to mine Monero is you're going to need a wallet address. And to get a wallet address, I would suggest you go to monero.com or monero.org here and you download the GUI wallet. If you're not familiar with CLIs and hardware wallets then as well, this is essentially Windows, Mac, or you can just directly go to the source code, install it on your computer, and then essentially create an account. It's going to give you a 16-word passphrase. Please save that and save it somewhere safe, because if you ever get locked out or change computer, you're going to have to log back in using that passphrase. And then eventually you'll come to a screen like this and you go to receive, and it's going to give you your wallet address. And a wallet address is something like that. That's my wallet address. I will paste it into the description. If anybody wants to send me any Monero, you can absolutely fill your boots. Thank you very much. So once you have your wallet address, the next thing we want to do is download the mining software required for that. Now the mining software is XMRig. I will say this, and please be very clear, do not download XMRig from anywhere else apart from xmrig.com or its GitHub repository, which is github/xmrig/xmrig. There has been a lot of scams out there where people essentially have been injecting malware or replacing some of the code inside XMRig and then putting it out there, and people have been downloading it and have got scammed out of some hard-earned crypto. This piece of software will run on your PC or your MacBook or your laptop, whatever it is, and it will use its processing power to try calculate blocks in the Monero blockchain, and if it is successful, it will reward you with some Monero coins then as well as a reward. Now a couple of disclaimers here: you're not going to get rich overnight doing this. It is how is the best way to say this? Small passive income at best. You will be contributing towards the blockchain and the Monero network, so that is always really appreciated. It will run hard on your hardware. It will consume any resources that you're not using. I normally run this in the background as I'm going about my normal daily tasks, and you can sort of hear your fan spinning it up, and so it will decrease the life overall of your system that you're using. But if, like me, you're on your computer anyway throughout the day, what's the harm in having it run in the background and earning you some passive income as you go along? So once you download that software, it's about 30 megabytes. It's really, really lightweight. Oh, no, it's even lighter again. It's a couple of megabytes then as well. It's going to install onto your computer, and it's going to, where is my screen? Yes, it's going to get you a folder called XMRig. Unzip that folder and put it somewhere safe. I just have mine on my desktop here. And when you open it up, there's a lot of files towards it, but the first thing I'll point out is the configuration file. So you're essentially getting vanilla XMRig, and you need to essentially customize it to your own settings then as well. So open up the config. And there's going to be lots of things you can alter here. You can change the name of it. You will need to set how many cores your computer has. So I'm using a, let's go into my system real quick. Yes, I'm using an i5 2.9 gig 6-core machine. So I have 6 logical processors, and so essentially I can use all 6 of those logical processors for multi-thread on this multi-thread crypto mining then as well. 16 gig RAM, and I have a fairly basic graphics card. It's an RTX last generation. It's nothing to scream and dance about. So I'm running a very modest rig. It's perfectly fine for what I'm doing. I don't do high-end video editing or anything, so this is perfectly fine for me. So you need to change your settings slightly to essentially show them which cores are available for you. So yeah, once you've done that, scroll on down. There's two things you need to set then as well. First and foremost, you're going to need to set your wallet address. So under user, I have mine in here. And secondly, you're going to have to set a pool. Now, essentially what a pool is, there's two ways you can crypto mine. You can solo mine or you can pool mine. Solo mining is you as a single person or a single machine are trying to calculate an entire block by yourself. Blocks are massive and blocks require a lot of computing power to complete, so I would not suggest solo mining. Only if you've got high-end bespoke hardware would you actually consider sort of solo mining. But you can join a pool, and a pool mining, like it suggests, is a group of people working together to solve a block, and then the reward for solving that block is shared amongst lots of people. So we need to find which pool we want to go towards here. Go back over to my browser here, and we're going to go to miningpools.stream. Let me go back for 1 second, and yes, miningpools.stream, and you can see there's lots of cryptocurrencies noted here. Bitcoin, Dogecoin, two of the biggest ones then as well. But we're using Monero, so let's go into Monero. And it's going to list out all the different possible pools that you can use. For the purpose of this one, we're going to use support XMRig.com, and then over here you can see how many blocks and how many people are using the network and how successful it is then as well. Some pools will take a commission, so this one does take a 0.6 fee for essentially joining their pool and for them to run the pool for you on your behalf. They're all very differently. Some of them allow solo mining, some of them do not. But for the point of this, we're going to use support XMR. If you click into that, it's going to bring you here. Oh, let me just delete that for a second. We're skipping ahead of ourselves. We're going to go up the top to home. We're going to go to help. And this will actually direct you directly to the XMRig mining software then as well, sort of step-by-step instructions. It'll take you to the download page. It can show you a setup wizard then as well. But what we really need here is the configuration settings. And it's this in particular that we're going to need is the pool address. So pool.supportxmr.com, semicolon, and then 4 threes. And that's really important. So it's the 4 threes at the end is essentially the port. And like myself, you're using fairly average hardware. We're going to go to the low difficulty group. There's no point going to high difficulty if you don't have the hardware that can sort of back that up as well. So now we're going to need to take a copy of this, which is the pool address. I'm going to stick it in here just for safekeeping. And back here then as well. So yes, under the URL you put in your mining address that your pool address that you're going to, and you put in your wallet address. Now there's lots of other settings, and I would suggest I will put a link in the description to a good website which sort of breaks down every one of these for you. Monero is a non-ASIC cryptocurrency then as well. What that means is it favors CPU mining over typical GPU mining. And when I say typical GPU mining, I'm talking about the likes of Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and that, where essentially people have bespoke built algorithms and hardware that is focused purely on that ASIC algorithm and solving those problems then as well. Monero is a non-ASIC currency, so it actually favors just using typical generic CPU power to solve blocks instead of highly bespoke GPUs to solve block sizes then as well. So that's why it is good that you can just use your typical home PC then to solve blocks. So once you have that done, you should save your configuration file, and to start mining, simply go and run the start command. Now it's going to tell you some stats about your system, which you can pull through then as well. If they're not, you will need to alter them then as well. It's going to show your pool address, so pool.supportxmr, perfect as well. It's going to show you a few shortcut commands, H, P, R, S and C, and then down here it's going to start allocating us jobs, and we've actually already accepted a job then as well. Oh sorry, no, we were given a job and I've actually already completed a block on that job. So this is the easy pool, and you can see already within a couple of seconds there we've had 2 shares accepted. What essentially is happening here is, let me just make this full screen so we can see. What essentially is happening here is we are being assigned jobs from the pool. So the pool is supportxmr.com, and these are easy pools. And then my computer, you've probably heard in the background there, my fan has spun up ever so slightly, has started working on these jobs, completing blocks and submitting them as well. So if I hit S, you can see I've actually already completed 4 shares. And I would have been rewarded for those 4 shares. So I've actually already earned a tiny wee bit of currency then as well. It's going to show your difficulty then as well. and this is where you can change your port number and change which sort of mining pool that you're going towards. Next, if you press H, it's going to show you your hash rate. So your hash rate for the last 10 seconds, 60 seconds, and 15 minutes. And at the minute, my hash rate is coming in at sort of 1700, yeah. So fairly steady kind of hash rate of 1700, or depending on which unit of measurement, it's coming through there as well. So yeah, we're up and running, we're mining. Real quick, let's go back to support XMR. If you paste in your crypto wallet address, it's going to actually show you how you're performing on the blockchain here and then. So yeah, you can see my little miner that I have. I changed it to call it Pi 6, and it's coming in with, well, a low hash rate at the minute. This will take a few minutes to update. But yeah, you can sort of log in here and check. You can run 20 different machines, and they'll all appear here as different workers then as well. You can see how many shares I've submitted so far. I've been doing this for a month or two at this stage, passively in the background. You can see how many shares are valid and then invalid ones then as well. And it's actually calculating me that I will generate at this current rate 0.0002 per day. Overall, over the last month or so, I have earned 0.01 blah 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 Monero so far. Now, like I said, this is, yep, actually my hash rate just increased, and give you some more details about that. You can change it into dark mode as well, just to make it a bit easier on the eyes. But yeah, and this is publicly available, so you can actually check this whenever you're on your phone. As long as you have your wallet address, you can see how your machines are performing. So if you want to set up 20 different machines and have them sitting in a warehouse somewhere then as well, you can actually view them all centrally from here. Now, if you are interested, if you do want to build some bespoke hardware, or you wanted to see how different CPUs will perform sort of mining this kind of thing then as well, you can go over to, there's lots of different websites. I think I just googled this one, but betterhash.net, and we're looking at the XMRig. So you type in a processor, or else you can sort of search for the long list. So say we wanted to look up like a nice decent Ryzen 9000X. So yeah, so a Ryzen 9 3900X, which is a 12 core, quite high end machine. And hit select, you can see there its hash rate will be just over 11,000. So yeah, you can put that in perspective what I'm currently mining with, which is 13 to 1400. So it is 9 times more powerful than what I'm currently mining with. I do see that Ryzen processors do seem to outperform Intel processors in a lot of this as well. So for me, I'm mining fairly low spec hardware then as well. If I was to build a new machine and stick this kind of CPU in it, you can see that my monthly income, my Bitcoin I would earn. And so yeah, running this machine, you can actually see you would be earning $9 per month mining on the Bitcoin network using XMRig. But I will heavily caveat that this doesn't take into consideration electricity cost. So if you're free electricity, then yes, running this setup would actually get you $9 a month. But I have to pay for my electricity until I get lovely solar panels in. So I would only be, I'd probably be losing money on this. But like I said at the start, my computer is on anyway during the day. I'm going to be using my computer during the day, and this is just going to run like it is right now in the background, sort of, you know, accepting shares and doing some work for me. There, another one I got as well. In the background as well. So it's never going to make you rich, but if you do have the extra CPU, install it, run it in the background, and hopefully it'll earn you a little bit of passive income as you go along. As soon as I actually stopped using my camera, my hash rate massively increased as well. So it went from being 1300 to 1400 to over 2000. If we go back into the website and refresh that, yeah, you can see I'm actually hashing out at 1.2 kilohash at the minute, and you can actually see then what you're sort of spiking at. So yeah, 2.5 kilohash then as well. Yeah, so running the likes of OBS and screen recording software will massively affect the performance of this. So yeah, if you're gonna want to play a game or something, your hash rate will massively decrease, and you can see I'm actually winning a lot more shares now as well. Just wanted to show you that.